Hey, so today I've got something out the loft which is very dear to my heart. This is the Binatone TV Master Mk. This is my very own, my first console, computer or anything that I had. My dad brought this home to me when I was, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5, something like that. It's basically a Pong clone, and you've got tennis, squash for 2 players, football, and target and shooting. So what was slightly different to this than your usual Pong variants is it came with a light gun. Now I used to run this on an old black and white screen when I was a kid. We had this beautiful old goldfish bowl like screen, and it had this wonderful dial, and I remember when you turned it on the inside it would be fine tuning, on the outside it would be tuning over a bigger range, and you used to spin it and the little dial span on the inside. But every time you wanted to change channel, you didn't have buttons, you just had to rotate this thing to the correct channel, like effectively tuning your TV in every time. But you know, you only had 3 channels back then, so you didn't mind, or plus your video game system through the old UHF connection. Of course that won't work on a digital TV screen now. If you've got a flat screen TV, unless it's a really early one, it probably hasn't got an analog tuner in there, so you won't get this working. I've not had this working for, oh god, it must be 30 years since I played with this or got it going. So I've done a little bit of research on the Binatone box, and what I've figured out is that there used to be something called the Magnavox Odyssey. Now that was considered to be the first real home console, and it came out in 1972. And it was said to be the inspiration for Atari's Pong, which was essentially the idea of the bat and the ball on the screen. Everybody remembers Pong, but not many people remember the Magnavox Odyssey. Now, you may notice on this box it says licensed by Magnavox USA. In 1977, when this came out, Binatone, who were a British company, and they were good at just getting other people to make electronics, and then they resold them into the UK as Binatone products. They made sure they got the license for this console, and basically just took the technology that was in the Odyssey and brought it down into the UK homes. And there's loads and loads of these around. They're not exactly rare, but they're very much referenced as being not just the first console that I had, but generally the first home computer or console games machine that people in the computer games industry had. You'll often hear people on the Retro Hour podcast, they'll say, oh, what was your first computer or console? It'll either be a VIC-20, Commodore 64, or something like the Binatone is a regular answer that people give. Their parents brought one of these home because everybody wanted to have Pong, right? Ataris didn't sell that well in the UK, but these did. I love this bit on the back. You will become a superstar with Binatone TV game. So this is pretty unique on most consoles. I'm not quite sure in the 70s if they expected this to be portable, or why they've got a battery compartment in here. But there's room in here for 6 batteries, and those were those big chunky ones that you used to get in like the torches back in the day. I just can't for the life of me think why you'd want to power it by battery. Anyway, to get in this, it says it was made in Hong Kong. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws. Just unscrew each one of those, then flip it over, and the top comes off. So once you've taken the screws off the bottom, this pulls off, and you can just simply lift the lid off. And you can see how simple this thing is. It's really nothing to it. There were a couple of screws. There was one here, one screw here, and a third one here. And you just gently lift this up. Try not to tug on any of these cables underneath. And you can see the wonders of Binatone technology. There's a few kind of cleanups that could be done on this board, but it seems okay. Now the main thing that I didn't think to check was the power supply, which is a 8 volt 1.2 VA. Yeah, that's a bit old, and this is actually, it's cracked open. You can see the plastic has perished around the outside, and you can actually get, I mean, I wouldn't ever advocate opening up a power supply, but I don't know if you can see what's in there, not very much. So let's put that back together again, if it'll stay together. Yeah, not great. Now, what I did was test that. Just get yourself a multimeter. I've got an inexpensive one here, and stick it on volts. And the end of this, it's kind of a strange connection to have. You don't normally get these nowadays. The tip is the plus, and that's the minus. And the reason I could tell that is because looking in the switch here where it goes in, the tip goes onto the red wire, which is the positive, and the black's the negative, obviously. Now when I plug this in, I'm not going to do it again, just because I don't like plugging in broken power adapters. They tend to trip switches and things. But you could test that just by putting your connections on here, and that was putting out nothing. There was 0 voltage coming out of this. So that says to me that it's the power supply that's at fault, and if I'm lucky, there's probably nothing wrong with the board at all. So I have a power adapter which is a switching power supply, so you can change this to the different volts. Unfortunately, it won't do 8 volts like this one said. 7.5 is the closest it'll get, but I'm hoping that's enough juice to power the thing up. And it's running at the same amps, so 1.2. It comes with a whole bunch of connections. This adapter is quite handy, and luckily for me, it's got one that pretty much matches this one here, and it fits in here absolutely fine in the power adapter. Let's just quickly test that we are getting a sensible voltage out of it. Okay, 7.8 volts. It said it needed 8, so hopefully that's enough. This is the power switch, on or off, so that's off. Let's plug it in, turn it on. Yay, that sounds like it's working. So it looks like I've disassembled this for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Let's plug it into the TV and see what happens. Let's get the lid back on. Oh. Okay, so I've got the power on. Let's plug it in. Okay. I've got to tune this in now. Please work, please work. Okay, so we've got an output. And this works. So we have a slightly fuzzy screen. I'm not sure why. I think it's just due to the UHF cables. Sometimes I've had old consoles like this before, they just degrade and you end up with a display like this. I'll try it on another screen later. It could just be the input on this screen. I've not been running this for long. Again, it was my original screen from back in the day. but I never used it for UHF signals. It was always SCART. So we've got a number of games. We've got tennis, which is just one paddle on the left, one on the right. You may notice there's one thing important missing off the screen at the moment, and that's a ball. Where's the ball gone? That's crazy. Now, notice that if I unplug the light gun, the ball appears on the screen. I wonder if, because this power output's pushing out 7.5 volts instead of 8, maybe there's not quite enough voltage or something going on there. Anyway, we've got a ball back. So tennis, as you'd imagine, left and right, up and down. You just got to keep playing, and the person gets a score on there. Squash, that's practice mode. So that's one player can just get used to being able to bat it backwards and forwards, trying to slice the slot. Anything you can, just last as long as you can without dropping that ball. Squash, that's when both of you are playing against a wall. Why is it going through both the bats? Oh, there we go. So it knows when you or the other bat are supposed to be receiving this. So that should have been this bat that received that. There we go. So now it's this bat and that one. There we go, that works. Football. That's pretty cool. So this one controls both of those up and down. So you've got your forward and back players. And the idea is to get it through the goal, which he's just done. Notice how the scores continued from my last game as well. So if you reset. Oi! Oh, good goalie. And you let that one in. So the serve can be auto or manual. So if I put that on manual, next time we lose a ball, the new ball doesn't appear. So supposedly when I press that button, I guess, oh, there we go. It worked. Okay, so the ball will only appear when we do that. We've also got the option to make the bats smaller. And if we make the bat smaller, obviously it makes it harder to hit. And we can change the speed. We can make it go very quick. So let's see what that looks like. Whoa. Yeah, that definitely makes it trickier. Much trickier. I don't understand what the angle is. That says plus 20 and 40 degrees, or just 20 degrees. Maybe that's the different angles. Perhaps it reflects off the bat at 20 or 40 degree angles rather than just 20 only. I'm not sure. Now we can try it with the light gun. So I'm going to power it off. Let's unplug these and plug the light gun in. The light gun's this freaky adapter. There's one plug that's slightly longer than the other, slightly thicker, slightly smaller. And there's only one way, obviously, that'll fit in here. Stick it on target mode, power it up, and we've got a score, or we've got no target. No, I hadn't got auto on. No, I think there's something amiss with the target gun. I can't tell if it's me just being really rubbish at it, or if it is just a bit rubbish. Because it just kind of flashed if I pointed it. I'm not convinced that's working. So I can't tell you how pleased I am to have got this running after so many years, even if it is a little bit fuzzy, but it doesn't really affect the play too much. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and remember to give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you'd like to see more of these kind of videos where I salvage random bits of technology or fix various things and save them all from the recycling centre. Thanks, and take care. See you.